Baal, once a dominant deity in the ancient Canaanite world, offers an intriguing glimpse into how religious beliefs evolve over time, reflecting changes in both cultural and theological landscapes. Today, we think of the great spiritual battle between God, specifically Yahweh, and the devil with his demonic forces. However, before Yahweh's ascension to theological supremacy, there was a time when Baal, the Canaanite storm god, held significant power and was seen as a rival to Yahweh. Baal was once the most widely worshipped god in the ancient Canaanite world, a region that stretched across modern-day Israel, Lebanon, and parts of Syria. Known as the rider upon the clouds and defeater of sea and river, Baal was seen as the youthful storm god, protector of the land, and bringer of life through the rains. His mythology, recorded in texts like the Baal cycle, discovered in the ancient city of Ugarit, depicts Baal's battles against the forces of chaos, particularly the sea god Yam. These stories emphasize Baal's role as the embodiment of order in a world that was often threatened by destructive forces. Before Baal emerged as the storm god of Canaan, his origins lay in the figure of Hadad, a minor storm deity worshipped by the Hurrians and Hittites in Mesopotamia. Hadad was initially linked to spring rains, which were critical for agricultural societies. As Hadad's worship spread westward into Canaan around 1800 to 1500 BCE, his role transformed to fit the region's needs. Canaan's reliance on seasonal rains, often brought by violent storms from the Mediterranean, made Hadad an essential figure in local religious practices. In this new context, Hadad evolved into Baal, whose name meant master or lord, signifying his control over both nature and the land. Baal's transformation from a storm god to a symbol of military and political power was a natural progression in Canaanite society. Agriculture depended on the coming rains, and Baal was seen as the protector of the land, ensuring its fertility and abundance. As the chief god of Canaan, Baal's mythology mirrored the region's agricultural cycles, depicting him as a god who not only controlled storms but also governed life itself. His victory over death, symbolized by his annual battle with the god Mot, represented the renewal of life each season. One of the most important texts shedding light on Baal's significance is the Baal cycle. This epic poem narrates Baal's rise to power and his battle against the forces of chaos, particularly the sea god Yam, who demands Baal be offered as a tribute. Baal refuses to submit, defeating Yam in a fierce battle. With the help of his warrior sister Anat, Baal demands a palace to rule from, symbolizing his ascendancy to the throne of the gods. This myth echoes the ancient Near Eastern theme of divine usurpation, where a younger, more powerful god replaces an older one. Baal's eventual ascent to the throne marks a moment of divine triumph, reflecting the power struggles among the gods. However, Baal's victory is short-lived. In the Baal cycle, after Baal builds his palace, his authority is challenged by El, the chief god of the Canaanite pantheon. El is reluctant to acknowledge Baal as the ruler but eventually relents, marking Baal's coronation. Yet, Baal's reign is ultimately threatened by death itself. In a dramatic twist, Baal is confronted by Mot, the personification of death. Despite his previous triumphs, Baal succumbs to death, causing a cosmic catastrophe. The land experiences a great drought, and the gods mourn his passing, performing self-mutilation as a sign of grief. Baal's death marks a period of agricultural collapse, but his resurrection, brought about by his sister Anat's descent into the underworld and her defeat of Mot, symbolizes the renewal of life and the return of the rains. This cycle of life, death, and resurrection reflects the natural agricultural cycles of abundance and famine, linking the myth to the seasonal rhythms that were so important to the ancient Canaanites. Baal's return to life after his resurrection marks a new era of fertility and plenty, although, after 7 years, death once again rises to challenge his rule. Baal's story embodies the struggle between life and death, order and chaos, which were central themes in many ancient mythologies. As the storm god, Baal was a symbol of order, ensuring the land's fertility through the rains. But his death also reflected the fragility of life, a reminder that even gods could not escape the inevitability of death. This tension between life and death, as well as the renewal of life after death, mirrors the struggles faced by ancient agricultural societies, where the arrival of rain was crucial for survival. In this sense, Baal was not only a god of fertility but also a symbol of life itself, holding dominion over the forces of nature that determined the success or failure of the harvest. Despite Baal's initial dominance, his power began to wane with the rise of a new deity, Yahweh, the God of the Israelites. Yahweh's emergence as the supreme God of the Israelites marked a significant theological shift, as the Israelites gradually abandoned the polytheistic beliefs of their neighbors and embraced monotheism. This shift also meant the diminishing of Baal's status as the chief god of Canaan. Yahweh's rivalry with Baal would have significant consequences for the history of religion, as it set the stage for the rise of monotheistic faiths that would dominate the world. In the Hebrew Bible, Baal is portrayed as a false god, a symbol of idolatry and rebellion against the true God, Yahweh. The prophet Elijah's contest with the prophets of Baal, described in 1 Kings 18 verse 21, stands as one of the most dramatic moments in the Bible. Elijah challenges the prophets of Baal to prove whose God is more powerful. When Baal fails to respond to their calls, the impotence of Baal is highlighted, and Yahweh's power is confirmed. This moment in the Bible marks the theological downfall of Baal, transforming him from a revered deity to a symbol of false worship. Over time, Baal's demonization continued, especially in the early Christian and Islamic traditions. In these religious contexts, Baal became associated with evil forces and demons. His transformation from a powerful storm god to a demon reflects the rise of Yahweh as the one true God. Baal's name became synonymous with demonic power, often linked to figures like Beelzebub, the prince of demons in Christian theology. This theological shift mirrors the broader transition from polytheism to monotheism, where older gods were relegated to the status of demons. The demonization of Baal is further elaborated in the New Testament, where Baal is associated with Beelzebub, the leader of the demonic forces. In Mark 3 verse 22, Jesus is accused of casting out demons by the power of Beelzebub. This association marks the final transformation of Baal from a god of fertility and storms to a symbol of evil. Baal's story illustrates the theological shift that occurred over time, from a powerful deity worshipped in ancient Canaan to a demonic figure in later religious traditions. Despite his demonization, Baal's influence did not completely vanish. His legacy continued to echo through Western religious and occult traditions. In the Middle Ages, Baal's name resurfaced in grimoires, where he was described as a powerful demon who commanded legions of lesser demons. Baal's association with chaos, death, and the underworld became a central theme in medieval demonology. This transformation from a god of life to a demon of death reflects the shifting nature of religious beliefs and the ways in which ancient gods were reinterpreted to fit new theological contexts. The story of Baal offers a fascinating glimpse into the evolution of religious beliefs, from the worship of powerful gods to the demonization of those same figures. It highlights how the rivalry between deities, such as Baal and Yahweh, helped shape the theological landscape of the ancient world. The fall of Baal from a revered storm god to a demonized figure underscores the dramatic shifts in religious thinking that would shape the course of history. Today, Baal's legacy serves as a reminder of the changing nature of religious beliefs and the power dynamics that have shaped the world's spiritual traditions.
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.